Good morning, dear students. Today we would be studying Civics chapter 6, that is Rural Administration. Now, as you all know, India is a large country and in India there are many villages. And in the villages, agriculture is the main occupation of the people living in the villages. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, if villages perish of India, so will India also perish. This tells us about the significance of Indian villages. This sentence tells us about how important the Indian villages are. The village in India have a localized form of government. Now, every village in India has a localized form of government that looks after the internal or external affairs of the village. Now, administration of a district, how the district is administered or how a district is managed. You already know about India is divided into states. Now, we all know that India is being divided into states and each state is being divided into districts. And the districts are further divided into tehsil or talukas. A tehsil is a collection of small towns and villages. Now, a tehsil is a collection of small towns and villages. The division of a district to tehsil level ensures effective governance. The highest officer in the district is known as the district collector. And the highest officer in the district is known as the district collector. A district collector is an officer who is chosen from the Indian Administrative Services. The main responsibility of the district collector is to maintain law and order in the district. A district collector is assisted or helped by tehsildars and patwaris. Tehsildars are the land revenue officers. They try to solve village disputes and also supervise the work of the patwaris. They ensure that the land records are maintained properly and land revenue is generated. They provide the farmers a copy of the land records. Other important government offices in villages are milk society, anganwadis, daycare centers, societies to regulate seeds and fertilizers, post offices, healthcare centers and fair price shop. Now, functioning of the rural administration. Have you seen that the fields while traveling out of the city? When you go out of your city, have you seen there are many fields? None of the fields have any boundaries or markings like that. But still the villagers know exactly how their land is and how much land they have. It is the rural administration that keeps track of the land and maintains the land record. Now, it is the rural administration that keeps tracks of the land and maintains the land record. Every village has a system of recording how much land is owned by each farmer. Now, every system has a system of recording of how much land is owned by a farmer. This job is done by the patwari. Now, recording all these the land revenue and the land records, maintaining the land record is the job of the patwaris. There are many ways of measuring the land. Now, there are many ways of measuring the land. After measuring the land, a map is created. Now, after measuring the land, a map of the whole village is created. This map clearly shows the boundaries of each piece of land. Now, this map clearly shows the boundaries of each piece of land. However, conflicts occur when the farmers claim that some portion of their land has been taken over by other farmers. Now, there are many conflicts that occur when some farmers claim that many parts of the lands have been taken by other farmers. Who resolves these fights? Now, who does the solution of these fights? Who resolves these fights? Do the villagers also have courts to settle disputes related to land and revenue? Now, do the villagers also have courts, or are there courts in villages that settle the land disputes? Now, roles of a patwari. Now, we will study what are the roles of a patwari. Detailed records of land holdings are maintained in the village in order to reduce the number of complaints. Now, a patwari's job in the village is to handle or to maintain a detailed record of the jobs of the people and the lands, so that there could be more and more solution to disputes. Each farmer's land is measured by the government so that there is clarity over who owns how much land. Now, each land is measured by the government so that the government has a clarity of who owns how much land. It is the responsibility of the village patwari to ensure the records and maintain properly. Now, it is the responsibility of the patwari to ensure and maintain the land records. A patwari has these duties. First, measuring of land and fixing the land revenue according to the size of land. Now, first duty of the patwari is to maintain the land, measure it, and then fix a revenue according to the size of the land. Second, collecting land revenue from the farmers. Now, second is he has to collect the land revenue from the farmers. Third is maintaining a record of the crops being grown every season. The patwari has to maintain a records of the crops that are grown every season. Upgrading the land records every year or in case of any change. Now, the patwari has to upgrade the land revenue every year or the land records every year and note it down if there are any changes. Inspection of harvest in order to make an estimate of the yield it would get. Now, when the crop is harvested and when it is cut or harvested, the patwari has to inspect the crop, has to make a record of how much harvestation or how much crop was done. Now, next comes the roles of the police. You know that in a town we have police station, so that way the police station also handle the villages. In case of conflict, the villagers reach out to the respective police station of the area. Now, if there is a conflict, the villagers reach out to the nearest police station of the area. In the rural areas, the police station is an important link between the people of the village and the district administration. Now, in the rural areas or in the villages, the police station is an important link between the people and the government. At the police station, written complaints are lodged. At the police station, always a written complaint is lodged. Then a first information report or a FIR is registered for the case. Then FIR, which is called the first information record, is recorded for the case. Land disputes are the most common complaints in villages. Now, land disputes are the most common complaints that we have in the villages. Now, next is changes in villages. Now, what are the changes coming in nowadays villages? Rural administration helps the people to implement technological changes such as the usage of tractors, harvesters, solar panels, organic farming and others. Now, as you see in many villages, farmers are changing. They are using modern technologies to do farming, like they are using tractors, harvesters, solar panels, etc. In European countries, many farmers are now turning to organic farming. In European countries, many farmers are now turning to organic farming. This is a practice followed in India also. Now, organic farming is a practice followed in India also. Organic farms are those where instead of chemical fertilizers, natural manures are used. Now, in organic farming, what do? They use natural manure in place of chemical fertilizers. Chemicals used in the fertilizers make the soil dependent on chemicals and they lose the natural richness. Now, when chemicals are used on fertilizers, they make the soil dependent on chemicals and that is not good for the soil. The organic manures make the crop healthier and also rich in nutrients, thereby giving a bumper harvest. Now, the organic manures make the crop healthier and also are rich in nutrients, which produces a bumper harvest. And this is the end of chapter 6. Next we will start with chapter 7.